Looked at another clock, it was 7 o'clock. I looked at another one, it was 5 2.
Maybe you should synchronize those clocks around the house. I just keep my phone with me all the time and check that. I don't have any other things. So I'll put your headphones on so you can hear me, and then you can hear our guest if she shows up here.
Did you get in contact with her though?
I haven't. I sent 2 emails and haven't had a reply.
Oh,
So
I can't get these things on.
oh, I'll let you work on that while I do an introduction. And good evening, good evening. You are listening to Anishinabe Sober Voices, a forum for Anishinaabe people and the communities to tell their stories about drug and alcohol abuse, discussing drug and alcohol issues impacting Native people, and providing resources to improve the quality of life for the LCO tribal community.
These are backwards.
And usually we get to have a chance to have some people in studio, and this time around we got I got Mary Ellen Baker in here with me, but she's struggling with her headphones, so I'm trying to stall for time to give her some time to get her headphones in. Are you there now? You got it all set?
I think so.
Oh man, how you doing there, young lady?
Oh boy, right now I'm trying to calm down.
Yeah.
Trying to calm down and get situated here.
So you've been a busy gal with some video productions. You're becoming a movie producer now, or what's going on? You're looking for the Oscars?
No.
Coming up next? Yeah.
No,
Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
Okay, I will.
Since we have time.
Yeah. Niyo gizu ko na siya nakasbisyo doon. I've been doing a number of things, for about 3.5 months, from January 19th or 18th to about 2 weeks ago. I've been in Chicago helping to edit some recordings that we did in the summer and fall months of 2021.
Yeah.
And, boy, I didn't think there was that much involved in editing, but there sure is.
You could have asked me. I could have given you some advice, but
Yeah.
I know you have a very good gentleman that works with you in your sound and video and your live streaming, and I know he's very involved with Women in Water, and that's great that you have that. Otherwise, I was going to say, you don't have to travel to Chicago to spend hours editing. I could bring over my laptop and we could sit there.
Yeah.
But
it was interesting. It was informative. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
And enlightening too. And it just, a lot of it took me back to the days when I was running around and going crazy. And,
Yeah.
we had must have had about 40 speakers and about 80 hours, 60 to 80 hours that we were editing down to. I think we have about 19 hours, something like that, on thumb drive.
Yeah.
We're right down to getting down to the end where it's all rendering now, and then we had to put in some extra work about a speaker, and so he's in Chicago and he's finalizing everything. So hopefully we'll have that to the ads group, which is
Yeah. Who are the speakers and what are the topics that they're talking about?
oh wow.
Yeah, I know. We have an hour, so go ahead.
Well, the main thing is talking about traditional way of life and how it helps you to just stay on a good path.
Mm.
And we have speakers like Jason Schlender, Diane Sullivan, uh, great, and Eunice Zamora, uh, Marie Basty. We have quite a few. Rick St. Germain, his wife, Becky,
Mm.
Becky Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
We have Becky St. Germain and Becky Taylor were on. And boy, and Pipestone singers were on. All of them, they were great.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Yeah.
And then we had this Badger singers on. They were doing some songs for us. And we're talking about the drum and what the drum means to them
Mm.
and how they develop songs, certain things like that. It's going to be great. And we there's a lot of young people that were on that were talking about how they're trying to live a good life away from alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
And then we have the older ones that are talking about how their life has been since they started walking. It's a good way of life too.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a few that never had any problem with alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
And they remain on the traditional life, and they were brought up the traditional way. So it's different. It's a variety. One of the things that really was prominent in almost all the speakers was the boarding school era and how
Mm.
that affected our life today.
Sure.
And then we have spiritual people that were talking about the spiritual way, sweat lodge, pipe ceremonies, naming ceremonies. So they were talking to Gary and Melody. We were filming right out, recording and filming right out by the sweat lodge. He
Mm.
was talking. He told the story of the sweat lodge. And then we had quite a few hours of the naming ceremony. We had quite a few hours of tobacco in the pipe. So it's going to be really a terrific piece of work. And, they're the ones that are making it come alive.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are bringing it to the forefront. And it's really nice to have that camaraderie. Is that what you would
Right. Yeah.
within our people about traditional ways? And the traditional way of life is the strongest on this reservation, uh, the strongest in living without alcohol and drugs and living a good way of life. And it's like 20, 40, 50 years of sobriety. And it's
Yeah.
really fantastic. So I was talking to Brent from CCS today, and they're helping they're supporting and they're helping to finance the end of the project, which is copying and distributing. And we're going to do a feast. And we're going to invite all the speakers and all the entities. Like we want to give each the schools, we want to give them a copy. The tribal governing board, all the speakers, the ones that were talking, we want to give them a copy. And CCS,
Yeah.
tribal court, ICW, and so we want to invite them to that piece that we're going to have and distribute them. We have a celebration.
Yeah. Wow, very cool. Now you're talking about copies, so you're going to have DVD copies that you're providing, or just thumb drives? Okay.
Drives. And then we have a
And
CD with it.
oh,
And on the CD, a long time ago, I used to do the Anishinabe way. And Walt Brissett from here, from the radio station here, and
yeah.
he was our MC during that time. And we recorded many of the speakers, and so we got Gene DeGay, Eddie Benton, see who else,
Mm.
Diane Sullivan. So we had them talking on the CD too.
Oh, okay.
And then we got like a little folder explaining, you know, our mission, and then we have acknowledgments to all the supporters, and then we have a list of the people that were involved with their Indian name and their clan, and then we have a small paragraph or two about how to get a hold of people if they want to spread knowledge,
Right.
and pipe ceremonies and things like that.
So are you creating then a website for these videos to reside in, or on a YouTube channel? How online? How are people going to be able to see this online?
We're not going to go online with it.
Okay.
I promised the people that were speaking that it would only go to the Coterie.
Oh,
Not
okay.
online or anything. And so I gotta keep that.
Yeah.
And it's for the Coterie people, not for anybody
Yeah.
else.
So
So
anybody in the Lakoutere community needs to go to one of the schools, the
Mhm.
tribal office, any of the tribal entities that has a copy of this thumb drive to see these videos. Then.
Yeah, they can use them in their counseling sessions. They can
Okay.
use them in their circles. They can use them, to help people, to help understand alcohol and drugs,
Sure.
as well as to help is to show that, and to show that the traditional ways are important in our life,
Yeah.
and as Native Americans, as Lakoutere members, and how much we need that, how much we need that spiritual part of that program, our program, to help us remain drug free,
Yeah.
alcohol free.
Right.
So,
Wow.
catching my breath.
Yeah, that's been a long time that you've dedicated to this. And who's been funding this? Is this by a grant, or have you been just doing this because this is your passion and your heart for this?
I've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
But I got a grant from out of Burma.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And then the tribe helped with part of it, and
Wow.
then Alvin and GFP. And the guy that's producing and filming and recording and editing and transcribing,
Mm.
he's giving a lot of his time and talent. So it's not. It's going to cost. It's costing, but
Yeah.
And we recorded like 80 hours, and we're coming up with 19
Yeah.
hours of actual thumb drive.
Yeah.
Material, So
Well, that usually happens in editing. You shoot, 3/3 of stuff, and 2/3 of it never really makes it to the final product. You get 1/3 left, and that's it. But it's very powerful stuff, depending on how it's been edited. And if you again, these are all stories. So to do storytelling in video, it's really hard to actually keep things consistent as you're cutting up. I don't know if you just hit record and let it go, but there's still things at the beginning and the end that kind of make it, that's not quite right. We don't want that. We have this portion. There's a lot of decisions that go in. I have a lot of people in my world over the 40 years I've been doing video. They say, well, it's just one little edit, but it's like, Okay, but you want graphics, you want music, you want a sound effect, you want pictures added to it to help tell the story. One little edit can take 2 or 3 hours,
Mhm.
and as you now well know, and you're well educated, so and that might help you in the future if you plan to do other video projects. You know what's involved in the first part of the production planning, the production itself, and then into post production. That's a lot of work. I commend you, and I'm grateful for what you're doing for the community. That's just amazing, and everybody that's involved. So that would be nice.
I was talking to a a proposal writer out in Massachusetts. I was out there about a week and a half ago, and I was talking about traditional traditional programs, how hard it is to get funding
Mm,
for traditional programs, and she's just saying, yeah, she says there isn't any data of
right?
how traditional ways can help with sobriety. So now we have the data,
Yeah,
we have the proof.
it's the beginning with more to follow.
Mhm.
Wow. So well, we had a guest scheduled today, but they haven't popped up on our online window here as I'm looking at my computer. So what else do you have to share about? Well, let's talk about Women in Water coming together. You had a fundraiser, um, and how did that go? Were you able to auction everything you wanted to auction
And then some.
raise? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't auction, we just sell out.
Oh,
We just
okay.
sell them right out.
Yeah.
And we had, I don't know how many skirts, and they went, and we had necklaces with the copper top.
Hmm.
We sold quite a few of those. And we had some placemats
Okay.
for articles, sacred articles. We sold those. Bags.
Blankets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My nephew, uh, he used to, when he was living here, he'd come and he'd hand these big uh, patches to me, beaded patches. And they were like the skull, the skull of a buffalo.
Yeah.
Uh, different patches that he made that he sewed beadwork, and that was his way of staying sober with him.
Hmm.
And he gave me about maybe 5 or 6 of them, and we put them on bags, and they sold right away.
Wow.
And then we put them on a couple of black leather jackets for men, and we had ribbon shirts. So
Sure.
yeah, it was
Wow.
good. The singers and the performers and the
Yeah.
speakers, Becky Taylor, she really talked good, and Mike Sullivan and his son were there. And
Yeah.
He sang. Son of Mel was there. And he helped. Frank
Mhm.
Montana was there. Yeah, it was good. It was
Hmm.
really neat. So it's fun to do that. It's fun to bring people together.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many uh, viewers we had. At one time, I thought I heard 700 and something.
Sure.
But we haven't got those kind of numbers yet.
Yeah.
Probably in a week. We're still online.
Yeah. It's still playing back. It's online, and it's 12 hours
Mhm.
of of just great conversation, music, like you said, items, so people can still find it and contribute to the organization. So
We're looking for that one big donation.
yeah.
We started out doing it at 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. I was part of that in the beginning. That was a very long day.
But we did it.
Yes.
We did it.
Yeah. So
But
wow.
the college, the university also.
Yeah.
University, they've been so supportive of us.
Yeah, they've been very helpful because you use that
Cafeteria.
the extension cafeteria area
Mhm.
for that all the time, and it's been very cool.
and their acoustics in that room is just good.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
and people come down and sit and watch with us, and sit for a few hours, and they'll leave.
Yeah.
They're there.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I was in town, I would have stopped by because I had it on my calendar, but I was out of town, so sorry I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it. I watched some of the video. But
You
very
never
cool.
know how it's gonna go.
No, you don't. In fact, I know just with this program alone, we're here live on the radio, and once the radio's done and over with, it's not recorded on the radio, but we do stream these conversations on Anishinaabe Sober Voices on our Facebook page, the YouTube channels, and we actually get more viewers after we've done the live stream
Mm-hmm.
because people have a chance to go view it at their leisure when they're available to watch it, because not everybody is available at 7 o'clock at night on a Tuesday night. But yeah, I've been really excited to see some of the numbers of people that watch this and comment, and a lot of the stories that we've heard from young people who have, oh boy, that the last gal we had on, oh my goodness, what a story she had. Now her name is, I can't remember her name now. Steve set her up, and she was, I think she was up in Bad River. No, she was in Fond du Lac. But man, what a story!
She in Lac du Flambeau.
Lac du Flambeau. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Yes.
It was his nephew's wife.
Yes.
Yeah, his nephew was on a few weeks.
A few weeks before that. Yeah.
But times before that.
Oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
her story.
He had a story.
Well, he had a story too, and it's just like, wow, these. And so I look at them and I'm saying, if they can make it, and you can make it, and I can make it, there's no reason why anyone couldn't make this happen.
Right.
It's just, willpower, yes, but there's also the support system around us,
Mm-hmm.
having that people around us. And that's what, a lot of the groups that Tracy have set up and Steve have set up, and all these different activities. And it's always the groups of people around us that help support us and carry us down that red road, because sometimes we can't walk it by ourselves. Mm-hmm. We need to be carried a little ways.
Or a little while.
Or a lot of while. And have a lot of patience along the way, because there are missteps, and that's okay. As long as you get back up and keep walking again. Don't sit down and pout and figure out, geez, I failed, I'm never going to make this. And it's like, no. You got to get up and go. It's like riding a bike or riding a horse. You fall over, keep going. And a lot of people just say, well, I don't have any support system, and I failed, and I fell off the wagon, or whatever you want to call it. And then they just give up because there's nobody around them to say, oh, no, come on, we'll pick you up by the arms and we'll help you get started again down that red road. And that's, the whole purpose of what we've been doing here with Anishinaabe Sober Voices, is to encourage people to say there is hope from drugs and alcohol, and there is a sober life that you can lead, and you can walk that with yourself and other people around you. How did I say that? Pretty good?
Yeah. One time, when we talk about nobody around, when I sobered up,
yeah,
yeah, was it the first few months? And I remember one time I was having a hard time, and in the program where I used to go to, they had these slogans.
Okay.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Call a friend. Call your sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Let go and let God.
Yeah.
Think. And I had them. I was sitting on my bed, and I had them all around me. All these slogans. And I was trying to be sane, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And I was reading them, looking it up, and reading about them, and working so hard to make it through that day. Uh,
Mm,
and that's just it. It's one day at a time, and to make it through that day, and
right.
not worry about yesterday, and not worry about
But
tomorrow.
tomorrow, yeah.
It's all gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out anyway. So but, I lived alcohol and drugs every minute of every day while I was awake,
Yeah.
and I did that for a long time, 10 years, 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and and I went, I put, I got this. I was having, the kids when you go out drinking and go for 2 3 days, not come home, you abandon them, abandon your
Sure.
kids.
Yeah.
So they were having when I sobered up and realized what I did and how it affected them. Um, I I got my kids together and their spouses, and we all went to a retreat center. I I had a friend of mine that was putting together a treatment program in Menominee.
Mm,
So I was telling him what I wanted to do. I wanted to um, work with my kids that weekend. He said, "Why don't you come over here?" I said, "What you got over there?" So he had this treatment center. He had maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms all done.
okay.
And he let us use the basement of the treatment center, and we stayed in those 4 or 5 bedrooms. And I got in some people to help us, counselors to help us. And they'd come in and they'd work with us, and we'd talk to each other. And kids would cry, and they'd tell me how they felt about me when I was drinking.
Yeah. Right.
And it was really productive, it was really positive. I expected to get, you know, hollering at me and stuff, but they really um, got things out, you know. So we did that, and we had so many family programs. My kids were going into treatment. We had family programs. I think the two oldest ones went into treatment about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So we had a family program with them 4 or 5 times
Sure.
each.
Right.
So, but it's the family has to work together to stay together, And now it all, it all, it all pans out.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes together,
Yeah.
and we just have to be willing to let it happen.
Right.
We have to do our part. I was used to say, you know, Great Spirit, if you can do your part, I'll do mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll walk this earth, keep the house clean, go to my job, and you do everything that I can't do.
Yeah. Right. Fill it in. Wow. Um. Go ahead.
But
Yeah. The I just lost my thought. I was thinking. Oh, now we've been talking about all these different teachings that you do, that Steve does, Tracy does, trying to help people keep them active. We have Bajiki Wellness Center that's offering outpatient counseling and resources. But do you think there will ever be a time where we have an inpatient facility here at LCO? Do you envision that, or is that something that's maybe too European, and the more, as you say, the more traditional way is to be in the homes, be in, the lodge, wherever, without having that sort of facility? Is that something that's needed in a traditional healing way, or is it just what we're doing now?
when I when I worked in the AODA office, the first words that came out of our tribal members' mouths when they would come in to see me is, how can I learn about tobacco? How can I learn about my traditional ways? And so, well, we can start right here. you know.
Yeah.
And tobacco is the first thing, and being sober is number one. You know, tobacco is the first thing that took me 4 years to learn about tobacco
Mm.
from my teacher. So, and we get impatient.
Yeah.
Oh, we get impatient. You know, I want what I want when I want it. And I haven't given up on the treatment center. I haven't given up on that.
Right.
I believe that our traditional ways are the strongest. You know, I sometimes you look out over for answers. You look and look for answers, and then you find out it's right in front of your face.
Right.
You know, so I have a plan that I'm going to put forward. I have a plan that, and I don't want to talk about it now. I just want to say that I have a plan that I have in mind, and I want to push that forward.
Sure.
Someday.
Yeah.
Soon. Very soon.
Well, and I know, if we talk about a treatment facility or a treatment place, you've opened your home as kind of a home style treatment facility. You've brought in drug addicts and alcoholics, and they stayed with you and learned the traditional ways, Tracy is being one of them. And, all that you've brought to that. And that's why I asked, do we need an institutional place, or is it a home style treatment place such as your home? Not that we literally do that, but is it someone's home where we go to and there's extra bedrooms there where people then can come down every morning, have breakfast together, and have that community there that's helping support them.
We won't know unless we try it. Right? I know it works.
Yeah.
I know it works. But we won't know unless we try it.
Well, and we have a men's shelter and a women's shelter, and I'm assuming those things are doing what they're intended to do, and getting people off the streets and getting them life skills and getting them into productive lifestyles off drugs, because they can't do drugs or alcohol while they're in these shelters. So it's kind of a step in the right direction. But I don't know, and maybe what programming they have going on in their in what they're doing.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll have to have one of the facilitators from those
Yeah,
come
that's
on the
an
program
idea.
and talk
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah.
But I know that um, um, I'm just trying to think of our clinic now again. I'm just drawing a blank on the name. Bijiki. Oh my goodness. Bijiki. I need a memory clinic. Um, the things that they do with Bijiki, they do groups and they do individual one-on-one, and there's that community there. I know they have a once a month feast that brings the community together and has that tradition in there. It's we're taking steps to get into that right direction. It's just, and things are slowly taking off. I know, even with this program ourselves, it's how long ago did we start this? 2 years ago?
Somewhere around there.
I know.
Yeah.
You came to me with this idea, and I said, all right, let's do it. And I said, well, I'll just man the board for you and operate the buttons, because I knew that's something that you weren't going to be able to do. And then you put a microphone in front of me, and now I'm part of the conversation, which is fine. I have my own sobriety story that I've shared before, and so I've been there, done that, and it's just really cool to see what's been going on in the community, and I'm glad I'm part of it. I appreciate you including me in this.
I have a daughter. I have a daughter, Eunice. That's going to get her bachelor's degree next year, next May.
Yeah.
And then she's
Yeah, she graduated with her associates, right? Yay, Eunice.
Yeah. And then she's going on for a master's degree, but she's already looking into um, programs for that.
Yeah.
Schools for that. And I told her, I said, yeah, I said, you get your license. And I said, we can do something.
Yeah, we could do something with that.
My other daughter is getting her bachelor's degree in business. And I said, yeah, we can do something. I have a granddaughter that's a whiz at math and bookkeeping. And we're
Sure.
getting there. We're getting there. You know?
Yeah.
So,
And you
Yeah.
do have a lot of space at your house, so
Mhm.
there's a lot of woods in the backyard. Of course, the lodge takes up a very large part of that, but that's part of the program
Mhm.
is being at the lodge and the sweat lodge, and it's amazing what you're doing there.
Yeah, we're gonna put on a fasting camp, but I'm kind of behind uh, because of the editing and things like
Sure.
that. So I'm kind of behind in all the commitments that I made. We took the women. We talked about the women in water. We took the women in water to Indiana. And we had a great turnout there, and then went to Massachusetts, and we did Waving of the Tears up there, and we did talking about women in water, and so we got that done, and I was supposed to do a fasting camp this week, and I don't have my sweat lodge made, so
Yeah.
um, guy from CCS Brent and I talked about it, and Karen, my daughter, and we're gonna do the fasting camp next month, the
Okay.
28th, starting the 28th. So I want to get things ready for that, and then I'm also gonna be doing a talking circle twice a month,
Mm.
on a Monday afternoon, Monday evening,
Okay.
and then I've been doing pipe ceremonies every evening when I've been home every evening, and anyone's can come to them. All they have to do is show up.
Yeah.
We're right on the front deck
Mm-hmm.
with our pipes. They can come bring their tobacco if they want to have a pipe for somebody in their family that's using, or somebody that's sick, you know, and and I've been opening up some programs for the Kudu and alcohol and drugs. I've been opening up some programs for them, and I did one Monday morning at the casino,
Mm.
and, and collected tobacco. So I've been smoking their tobacco. I took it home. When they put those prayers in it, tobacco,
Yeah.
it's a responsibility of a pipe, the one that carries a pipe, to put those prayers up there where the Great Spirit can look at them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing with that too. So, and then Women in Water, I was writing my budget and everything today, and putting that together, and it's looking good.
Yeah.
We got some really fabulous speakers that are all PhDs and masters people. We got Rainy Galish coming in from Canada Wednesday. We've got Fiona and Wes Waitong from Toronto. We've got
Wow.
R.J. Smith from here, Lakota, but he lives in Michigan.
Mm.
And we have Roxanne DeLoe from Duluth. And see what else. We've got a doctor coming in from Indian doctor coming in from Michigan,
Yeah.
Sault Ste. Marie, and he's fantastic. He's awesome. Um, he's going to be there during the whole thing. He's going to be there the whole 4 or 5 days. And then we have Donnie Dowd, who's another Indian doctor from Michigan. He's coming in too, so we're going to be. And then we got jingle dress healing that we're going to do, wiping of the tears that we're going to do for people that are grieving.
Right.
And because we got help from the tribal governing board, then any of the Lakota members can come in and just sign their name. They don't have to worry about any registration fee
Sure.
or anything. But
Okay.
we do need registration fees to to help pay for the things that we have to do, pay for the speakers that are going to come.
Yeah.
So we have Pat McCabe coming from New Mexico, and we have an evaluator coming from Albuquerque, New Mexico too. She evaluates our program,
Hmm.
and so Pat McCabe from New Mexico. Have you ever heard of Lila June Johnston? She's she's a, really she just got her PhD. She's young and she sings and she talks.
Hmm.
She's got beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's her mother. And Pat McCabe, we had her. Uh, she contacted me about a year and a half ago. She said that she had a donation to give us from this organization that she was involved with.
Yeah.
And she wanted to know if I could use the money. I said, sure, women in water,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
so we had her on the live stream about that group
Mhm.
of people that she involves herself with,
Yeah.
and how they give up these funds every so often. We were chosen. She had her chance. I guess they each take turns to nominate a program that they
Sure.
like to help.
Yeah.
So Pat McCabe nominated us.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty good.
Very nice. Yeah.
This keeps slipping off my head.
Yeah.
The wrong head.
Well, no, your head's smaller than the yeah. Don't worry about it. So another question I had too is what's happening with Minnesota Ojibways? Do they have similar programs about this, or is this what you're doing here? What we're doing here in LCO is this groundbreaking sort of stuff that the Ojibwe in Minnesota uh, haven't even begin to do yet. Do you know what they're doing? Trying to think of Mille Lacs Band, Red Lake. Um, are you familiar with anything that's happening over there?
To do with alcohol and
Yeah,
drugs or
yeah.
water? Or,
No, alcohol and drugs. I'm sorry, I changed gears on you.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything.
Hmm.
Of course, I haven't been looking either.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
concentrating on one
we'll
thing.
concentrate on this, what we're doing here.
Mhm.
Maybe we should assign that to Steve or Tracy to go look at, see what the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
communities are doing.
I'm pretty sure that they're doing well. I'm pretty sure that they're heavily into
Yeah,
recovery for alcohol and drugs.
yeah,
Some tribes are more advanced than we are on alcohol and drugs, but some have their own treatment centers already. Um, so
yeah. Just interesting thought as what the other communities are doing and what ideas we can offer them and what ideas we can use from that they're doing. So
mhm.
types of stuff. Well, our friend hasn't come online, so you'll have to. And our lights keep blinking. Like I don't want to have the power going out on us here at the station. We have a generator though, so we'll be good. Um, Anything else you want to share? Maybe what's coming up this summer besides Women in Water? What are the dates for Women in Water this summer?
July 30th through August 4th.
Okay,
Mhm.
event. Any other events that have been set and ready to go outside of that?
Not for me.
No.
No,
Okay.
I'm busy
Steve.
enough.
Steve, anything from you? Steve, where is Steve? He's not here. He could call in. That's what he could do. But,
Yeah.
no, I know Steve is working with the men in the county jail,
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff like that. I don't know if Tracy has made it in with the women. She wanted to get in to meet with the women that are at the jail as well, but that's been I don't know, I shouldn't say difficult. It's just been time consuming to get through the logistics of getting her in there and stuff. So
My month of June is all filled up.
yeah,
Yeah, we've got the initiation ceremonies for 3-4 years when they coming
Oh,
up in June. We've got voting coming up in June.
yeah.
We've got- So but this will be the first gathering, Mandawan gathering since our chief passed away.
Mm,
For us, they've had them in Canada. They've had initiations in Canada, but we're trying to finish the work that our chief left, and we have a few people that need to have their second degrees and first degrees and fifth
Oh.
degrees. So we got to do those
Yeah.
before we can plan anything further.
sure.
So I'm really that's going to be a week in June around. I think it's the 16th to the 23rd, something like that. Anyway, and I got the dates at home,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
that's really going to be good. So that's going to be busy.
And I've been working with some individuals in the tribe and the the relatives of those from Post, the survivors of Post, and those who had family members perish in Post. Um, and we're doing some ceremonies coming up here in the next couple of months to commemorate um, the flooding of Post, and that was just a very huge traumatic event for this community, and probably was a lot of the hardships that were brought upon the LCO people from that flooding. Really created some of these issues with abuses and trying to figure out, trying to bury that pain. And I know that pain is multi-generational, because now we have the surviving family members of those people from Post, and they're telling the stories that their grandparents and parents told them. And even you, I'm sure you have a story of what happened in Post. Were you here that time, or you weren't? Okay, never mind. I was waiting for that great story from you. But Rick St. Germain and a lot of the elders in the new Post community are putting together these commemorations and ceremonies, and that's a big thing on my calendar now as I look at June and July. There's some things happening there for the community as well.
Mm-hmm. What I remember when 1970 and 71 and 72 when things came to head around here, when they wanted to renew their lease.
Yeah.
I was there then.
You were at the protests.
I was watching things and listening
Yeah.
to people, and how the government tried to undercut our tribal governing board and go over them,
Right.
and how our tribal governing board wouldn't let them that time. They stopped it.
Yeah.
And they got an attorney, Larry Leventhal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was there then.
I heard that name before.
Mm-hmm. So that was exciting.
Yeah. And Honor the Earth Powwow is coming up July 13th through the 16th. That's going to be a big event. Last year, I think they broke records for attendance. It was packed beyond. I couldn't even imagine having that many people there, but it was packed last year, and I suspect this year it's going to be very similar. It's of course, post-COVID, we're all able to get out and be with each other, and especially now this is the 50th anniversary of the powwow.
It's our homecoming.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in. Yeah. So.
All right. Well,
I'm also working on another CD. And I've got some stories and songs.
Okay.
For that third CD that's going to come out, and I hope to do that by probably sometime in the first part of July, maybe. And there's one song that come to me, and it's about, what we talk about, the Red Road
Yeah.
living on the recovery on the Red Road, and how that helps our living by the Red Road helps our people so much. And I have a song for that, for the people
Oh,
that are recovering, and so I'm going to be telling a story about that, and as well as singing a song. It was something like this. I don't know, singing without a shaker. Okay.
I can hand you my mouse, but it doesn't
Yeah.
shake very well.
Because 어제부에기시군 이뱀모세야 하나미야 미스코니까 어제부에기시군 이뱀모세야 하나미야 So I got a story about that, and what it says is that we're walking under Ojibwe skies, praying for those that are on the Red Road. So, and dedicate that to all the people that are having a hard time staying sober.
Yeah.
Those beginners, the ones that were going through that first step, they need every help that they can get, and some let it go, but then they come back.
Yeah.
And during our recordings, there was a few people that said that they're not, our people are not suffering like they used to suffer with alcohol and drugs for a long time, 30, 40 years, 25 years. They're sobering up at 40, 50 years old. Then now they're sobering up at 19, 16, 20.
Wow. Yeah.
Much younger. They're cutting their years. They're not suffering for 25 years. Just maybe they're getting sober at an earlier age.
Sure.
And that's really that's really progressive. That's really positive. That's really that shows how much work that our community is doing, and our programs are doing, that our people are doing to help each other.
Yeah.
And we just don't like to see people hurting like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
There's so many out there that are willing to help. There's so many programs that are available, and it's really important, to notice that these young people are suffering. They don't have to go without, and the children don't have to go without for such a long time like mine did.
Mm-hmm.
I sobered up when my kids were 18, 17, things like that. So we had many, many years of seeing me in my disastrous moods, and trying to make it, it wasn't all that bad that I managed to put a roof over their heads, buy a home, and have a car, and sometimes they didn't have it, but they wanted to eat. We had food.
Yeah.
So that isn't all that's important. What's important is a clear mind, and clear eyes, and clean mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now it's paying off. Whatever what people have been doing, all the hard work that our providers are doing, all the hard work that sober people have been helping others.
Right.
It's all paying off.
Well, and I'm hoping it's with the we call it the fentanyl crisis, but with fentanyl being interlaced with our street drugs, I'm wondering if those who are the addicts of that 30 to 40-year generation are having second thoughts about their street drugs, and they might be turning to alcohol instead. But I know with the amount of um, deaths that we've had here on this tribe and around the area, it's been um, really not just the tribe, but just this generation of 30 to 40-year-olds that are finding these street drugs that are laced with fentanyl, and the deaths that are happening about it. I know a lot of people are saying, maybe I don't want to do this anymore and I need to quit because the next one could be the last one.
Right.
It's not so much that way with alcohol, because the next one wouldn't necessarily be the last one. But with street drugs, I've noticed a lot of, except for those who are really addicted, those are the ones who are in greatest danger and who don't want to change at this point. There's that generation as well.
Well, with everyone that passes away from fentanyl and drug use, they're all leaving a message.
Yeah,
They're all leaving a message and saying, don't do what I'm doing.
yeah.
This is the way it's going to end. So
I'm hoping that's why the younger people are seeing this and saying, you know what, we got to think twice about doing this and being involved.
I think our traditional people are working hard out there helping.
Yeah.
And then we have the Dugadadi that
Mm-hmm.
teaches a language which is one of the roots. We lost our roots a long time ago, and they're slowly coming back, but they're coming back stronger.
Yeah.
And stronger and stronger, and so with the language that comes back, what's coming back is going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful.
Yeah.
And when they hear you don't have to live like this, you don't have to live like I did,
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
And enrollment at Wadukadani is up. It's been great to see that school grow the way they have. And I was talking with Hutch this morning about the LCO school itself, and they're seeing growth in their enrollment and just growth in the students. It's just been amazing what they see there. So.
And this guy that I was talking to this morning, he was talking about all the things that he's doing, taking kids out, going into the schools and talking. I went with him into 4 of the schools, and I was talking about my experience with alcohol and drugs. And they listened. They were listening. Some cried.
Yeah.
So they're willing to listen.
Very good.
And that's important, because a long time ago, nobody listened.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, we are at the end of our hour.
Really?
We made it.
Boy, we didn't have a script.
Oh, thank you for coming in, Mary Ellen. I appreciate it.
Thank you for all you're doing. And thank everybody out there that's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
The right way in life.
We will turn it over to Tom Keene, who's doing drum song here on WOJB. All right, we're done. I just have to see if he's...
Oh, that went by fast.
Yeah? I suppose I should stop the stream.